Okay, what if I told you that the single best strategy for building wealth is to look like you have none at all? I know, it sounds completely backward, right? But the data is crystal clear. The people who look rich and the people who are rich are very rarely the same people. So, let's dive into why that is. Just picture this scene. Every single morning, this car pulls into the office parking lot. It's an old Honda Civic. You know the one. Faded paint, a little dent on the fender, nothing special at all. And everyone who sees it probably thinks the same thing. Man, that guy must be just scraping by. But what if that assumption is completely, totally wrong? What if the owner of that beat-up old Honda actually has a net worth of over $4 million, a paid-off house, and could literally retire tomorrow if he wanted to? Because believe it or not, that's often the reality.
So let's pull back the curtain and meet the real millionaires. And I'm telling you, the data completely shatters just about every stereotype we have about what wealth is supposed to look like. Think for a second about what a high earner drives. You're probably picturing a flashy BMW, maybe a Mercedes, right? Well, an Experian automotive study found something fascinating. A whopping 61% of people earning over $250,000 a year drive regular, non-luxury cars. We're talking Hondas, Toyotas, and Fords. And if you look at the specific brands, it gets even more telling. When researchers dug into the garages of actual millionaires, their top 3 choices were number 1, Toyota, number 2, Honda, and number 3, Ford. BMW doesn't even crack the top 5. So what does that tell you? The people with the most money are actively choosing reliability over status. And, it goes way beyond just the cars they drive. The landmark book, The Millionaire Next Door, found that 80% of millionaires are first-generation rich. They built it all themselves. Half of them have lived in the very same house for over 20 years, and they often live in just regular middle-class neighborhoods. And you see this with the big names too, which really illustrates the mindset. For years, Jeff Bezos drove a simple Honda Accord. Mark Zuckerberg had an accurate TSX. And Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in history, still lives in the exact same house he bought way back in 1958 for about $31,000. They all decided that looking wealthy just wasn't worth the price of being wealthy. So why do so many people get this completely backwards? Let's break down the massive and often hidden cost of trying to look rich. There's actually a name for this whole phenomenon. It's called conspicuous consumption. It's this idea that we buy things not really for what they do, but for what they signal to other people. I mean, a luxury watch doesn't tell time any better than a cheap one, right? Its real purpose is to broadcast status. The authors of The Millionaire Next Door came up with a great way to categorize this. On one side, you have PAWs, or prodigious accumulators of wealth. These are the folks who prioritize saving. On the other, you have UAWs, under accumulators of wealth, who prioritize spending and status. These are the people often living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much money they make. They even created a really simple formula so you can see where you stand. You just take your age, multiply it by your pre-tax income, and then divide that number by 10. That's what your net worth should be for your age and income. If your actual number is way below that, well, you're probably leaning towards being an under-accumulator. Okay, let's put some real numbers to this. Think about the price difference between a reliable Toyota and a brand new luxury car. It's easily $50,000, maybe more. But what is that 50 grand really costing you? See, it's not just $50,000, it's what that money could have become. It's the opportunity cost. If you took that difference and invested it instead of spending it on the fancier car, what would it be worth in, say, 25 years? $270,000. And that's just assuming a pretty modest annual return from the market. That is the true invisible price of that one single decision. That's the real cost of looking wealthy.
So, avoiding that huge cost is one thing, but actively looking poor, what some people call stealth wealth, well, that comes with some pretty incredible strategic advantages of its own. This whole strategy basically creates a powerful shield around your life. You get 4 huge benefits. First, security from people who might target you. Second, you tend to have more authentic relationships. Third, you get much better negotiation power. And finally, you get this deep sense of psychological peace and security. Let's start with security, because this one is huge. Research shows that affluent Americans are 43% more likely to be victims of identity theft. Think about it. Looking wealthy puts a massive target on your back for all kinds of fraudsters and scammers. But looking ordinary makes you completely invisible to them. And what about negotiation?
Warren Buffett captured this advantage perfectly. He said he never worried about being overcharged for things because nobody knew he was wealthy. It makes so much sense, right? Car dealers, contractors, salespeople, they all adjust their price based on how much they think you can afford to pay. Looking ordinary gets you the ordinary price.
So, what this all boils down to is a fundamental rethinking of what success really means. It's not about what you can show off to the world.
I mean, just look at the long-term result of these two different paths. Let's take two people with the same high income. The stealth saver, who invests quietly, builds a net worth of $3.4 million over 25 years. The visible spender, who buys the flashy lifestyle, is left with just $680,000. That's the difference between true financial freedom and constant financial fragility.
And this right here is really the core takeaway. True success isn't about the collection of things you own. It's about the financial freedom, the options, and the security that you purchased with all the money you didn't spend on all that stuff.
So, that leaves us with one final crucial question to think about. The next time you make a financial choice, ask yourself this: are you building real, lasting wealth, or are you just building the appearance of it? Because really, the answer to that question will define your entire future.